This might be the only career change video you ever need. My name's Raj, I'm a career changer and a professional careers coach, and here are 5 steps to move confidently towards a career change that works for you. Step 1 is to process this change. So before we look ahead to what's next, looking back to first identify the lessons we'll carry forward from the career we're leaving, and second, to start the uncoupling process from that professional identity. Reflecting on these 2 things first is important because otherwise, left unattended, the unprocessed eventually finds a way to unconsciously hinder us from moving forward. And we can do this by considering the following coaching questions. What have we learned about what matters to us? What is now a non-negotiable that wasn't before? What aspects will our next career have in common with the one we're leaving? What aspects will our next career have that aren't in common with the one we're leaving? It's important we take as much time as we need with these questions. There's no right or wrong amount of time. The second part of processing this change is to start the uncoupling process from our professional identity so we're more able to embrace new professional identities moving forward. And the following questions might help us. 1. What things will we miss from the career we're moving away from, and why? In some cases, this might even involve grieving if we're giving up a career that connects deeply to what we value but doesn't meet our needs in other ways. So the teacher that's passionate about education but doesn't have enough time to design the lessons that would work best. And second, what will we keep from the career we're leaving? What stories might we share about it in the future when speaking with friends around a fire? The point here is to acknowledge and notice what it is that we're moving away from, both the good and the bad, so that we have a solid base to build our future ideas on. 2. Let's define what matters to us in our future career. Now, there are loads of different ways we can do this, but my absolute favourite way is a game that we can play right now. So I want you to imagine it's 5 years from now. It's a Monday morning, you jump out of bed, you're feeling energised and pumped about the day ahead. And the question I want you to consider is this: what needs to be happening in the day ahead for you to be feeling that way? I want you to sit with this question for a full 5 minutes. Write, doodle, draw, to give shape to this vision. Okay, so how was that for you? What came into your mind first? Does what you learned help define what matters to you more broadly in your future? Doing this work now gives us a solid foundation to measure future career ideas against the things that matter to us so that we can be confident in the choices we're making. In the description box below, I've included more free self-discovery tools to help develop this sense of what might be important to us. 3. Identifying our skills and strengths. It's easy to feel like the skills we've built up in one career might not easily translate when we make a switch to another. But that's not the case. 67% of those switching industries in 2020 felt their pre-existing skills were of good use. When I stepped away from my career in investment banking, I found it really difficult to understand how me spending 10 hours a day on Excel spreadsheets would be valued by a future employer, for example, as a careers coach at a university. Now, thankfully, I didn't listen to that internal chatter. I applied anyway, and I successfully made the switch. And I think it was the product of 2 things: identifying my transferable skills, and in the second, was learning how to articulate them in a really compelling way. And it's something we can all do. First, Google Harvard Competency Dictionary and read through the skills or competencies, and we should definitely take our time with this. The idea is that we, for example, see the skill ability to influence, and we might automatically feel like we don't have this ability, but likely after reading the descriptions, so developing others' and own ideas, build support for preferred alternatives, facilitates agreement, we perhaps start to remember experiences that fit. Doing this with all the skills in this document means fully reflecting on the range of skills we have, both those we already know about and those we don't. As likely we'll emerge from this exercise feeling a lot more able and better able, therefore, to imagine ourselves in a wider range of potential careers. And what's more, the Harvard Competency Dictionary gives us suggested sentence structures to help us articulate our skills both in applications and interviews. 4. Generating and testing new career ideas. Having reflected on what matters to us as well as our qualities, we might now be feeling curious and excited about generating new career ideas. There are loads of ways to do this, whether situationally. So, will this career allow me to spend more time with the people I love and get home to cook healthy meals? Or environmentally, so what type of place might I be happy in? The approach to generating new career ideas I recommend and will detail in this video though is super practical, and it starts with the alumni filter tool on LinkedIn. Start by typing in the name of your university, school, college, then on their official page hit alumni. It will show you how many fellow alumni are on LinkedIn, and you can use the box underneath that number to search on words and combinations of words while activating the blue bars too to play and explore freely. Hitting return means the filter updates itself, as do the people that make up that data when you scroll down. You get the most out of this by paying attention to what you pay attention to. Do you feel curious, bored, envious? And stay with that emotion and perhaps ask yourself why you might be feeling that. Journal your thoughts and note down organizations and roles that speak to you. This will either add to existing career change ideas we have or generate entirely new ones. And it's super important we don't judge potential career ideas too quickly. Let's tend, at this stage, towards being accommodating with potential career ideas so we leave room to be positively surprised. Now, once we've generated new career ideas, it's time to test them through people and experiences. We want to have as many meaningful conversations with people doing those roles as we can, and if possible, getting a feel for what that work feels like to us personally. This will help us see how career ideas stack up to the things we identified in step 2 as being important to us. Here's how. Let's head back to LinkedIn and hit connect request to those people whose profiles made us feel curious or envious. So something along the lines of, I love the sound of your work, Jessica. I'd love to know more. We maybe have a 4 in 10 chance of them accepting that connect request. And when they do, we write to them with a further 3 short points. 1. Hi Jessica, I love the sound of the work you're doing in user experience research. Appreciate the work they're doing, make them feel seen, and give them a reason to want to help you. 2. I've always been interested in how people engage with information and materials, most recently through my work in education. So build a parallel between the career you're leaving and the one you're interested in learning about, and show that contextual value. And 3rd, might we be able to have a chat about how I could get professional exposure to the work you're doing? Kind regards, send. It's a simple and direct ask. Don't include a CV or a cover letter, and keep it really, really short. Don't use any more words than you absolutely need to. The aim here is to set up a 10-minute Zoom call where you ask them about their work, their impact, advice for new entrants to the career. Follow your curiosity with the questions you ask, and maybe look to end the call with one of 2 options. 1, hey Jessica, thanks so much for sharing. I was wondering whether it might be possible to get a more practical sense of the work you do, perhaps by shadowing you for, say, half an hour at a time that suits you. Or 2, might you have in mind one other person you think it would be really useful for me to talk with? These conversations and experiences get us rich information that allow us to test our potential career ideas against the things that matter to us, as well as identify where we might need more information. And naturally, as we investigate, some career ideas will fall into the background, some will emerge into the foreground, and it's really important we pay attention to this. If you get to a stage where it's a really tough decision you've got to make between a few options, I've included a link to a video I made really recently about how to make big and difficult career decisions, which leads me to the 5th and final point, mindset. When investigating careers, we should try not to be too attached to a particular outcome. By allowing the conversations and experiences to reveal their lessons to us, we avoid distorting them through our preconceptions. If we can direct ourselves towards an abundance mindset, one where there's ample opportunity, we're better able to see the opportunities that might work for us. This can perhaps best be described as telling ourselves, sure there's competition, but I'll be able to compete, while its opposite, a scarcity mindset. Oh, there's so much competition, it's not even worth trying. Energy spent cultivating an abundance mindset is totally worth it. If we know where we are, it's harder to get stuck. So there's a map I love using with clients. The leftmost point represents a time in our past when we knew nothing about careers. Our knowledge expanded through school, TV, and our keen observations of how those around us react upon learning of another person's profession. We might hope that at some point our knowledge expands to reach a point of satiation when we feel we know enough that we can then start to narrow down career choices. Knowing where we are on a map might help us figure out what we might need to do next. People can be a support. So might we have access to career change role models, whether in person or online? And perhaps even partner up with another career changer or changers, maybe even a career coach if resources allow. This might help us keep motivated and accountable because we will inevitably face challenges. The two most common career change setbacks are losing belief in ourselves and not feeling like we have the time or resources to truly research switching careers. It may be worth writing to our potential future selves who have been derailed in these two specific ways. That way, if we face either of these difficulties, we can hear from ourselves at a point at which we felt more able. Switching careers can feel liberating, daunting, exciting, but above all, possible. And it doesn't mean starting from scratch. We have a track record in demonstrating impact and value, in navigating politics and developing new skills. Both they and we are transferable. And let me tell you what career change can feel like. For me, it was transformational and one of the best things I've ever done. By pursuing work that's profoundly important to me, I've been able to forge deep relationships with colleagues who are similarly minded, to open doors to other people, as well as to parts of myself that were under-recognized. And so the chance to use a bigger part of myself to help other people means the world to me, as well as the feeling like I can turn my hand to many things. But it wasn't all roses though. It took me a long time to get past the feeling that I'd be pretty much useless in any other field and that my skills wouldn't be applicable. If you're familiar with the quote, "We accept the love we think we deserve," well, I think that's true of careers too, so any career change probably needs to start there. And I've got absolute faith you've got this. I wish you the very best of luck. I can't wait to hear where your journey takes you.